What's up? Words here. Trying to help you figure out this world religions project you got coming up. Just got off the road. Ready to help you out. It's going to start with a thesis statement. You got your script. Then you're just going to talk into your here microphone with that little camera doohickey. It's right about here. Show you a couple tips. Then I'll give you an example. Tip number one, have your stuff written out. Don't come in unprepared. I got my thesis statement right here on a little note card. Flip it over. There it is. I'm putting this bad boy right in front of my camera so it looks like I'm looking at you, but really, I'm looking at the thesis statement. Ain't no thing. I also got my script printed off and ready to go. I put on a little set of books, put a little piece of tape on, like that. Now it's standing upright. It's right about here, to the side of the screen. So I'll occasionally look over a little bit, but then I look back at the camera and we're ready to go again. So let's do it. I'm going to start from fresh. Hi there, my name is Words McWords. I just got off the road and I'm here to give you a brief introduction to world religions. For my project, I chose to focus on how all three major Abrahamic religions can all do terrible things. Throughout this short little 2-minute essay, I'll tell you some examples of each of the three religions doing terrible things so that you can gain a better sense of how religion can cause people to do terrible things. Even though for the great majority of people in this world, religion brings peace, happiness, love, and togetherness. However, in these cases you're about to hear, it can cause us to do more and more awful things to each other in humanity. Every religion is capable of such terrible acts, such as the Christian Crusades, the Israeli occupation of the Gaza Strip, and the Islamic radical terrorism of ISIS in Syria today. That was my thesis statement. If we look at each of these examples a little bit more in depth, you will see, as I have seen, that each of these religions can do terrible things. For example, the Christian Crusades. These were a period of time where Christians wanted to take over the city of Jerusalem. Jerusalem is in modern-day Israel, and it's a very important city religiously to all three Abrahamic religions. That's because it's got the Temple Mount, and this is where the story of Abraham is said to have occurred. Now, about 1,000 years ago, the Muslims had control of Jerusalem, but the Christians wanted control of Jerusalem. So, instead of negotiating a peace and trying to find a way for both to be there, the Christians decided to start a holy war. These wars lasted for hundreds and hundreds of years as the Christians tried to retake Jerusalem from the Muslims. They were eventually successful, and Jerusalem has gone back and forth for thousands of years between all three religions. It is currently held by the Jews. The Jews in 1967 formed their own nation called Israel. Israel is a Jewish state that is mostly dominated by the Jewish religion, although some people there may be Jewish ethnically, although not religiously. One of the things that the Israelis do in the name of their Jewish religion is they really put down the Palestinians who are Muslim, most of them, although some of them are Christian as well. The Israelis, especially in the Gaza Strip, tell the Palestinians that they don't have any right to land at all. In fact, they don't even deserve to have a nation of their own, even though Palestine has a flag, a government, a prime minister, and elections. Even though they have all that, Israel continues to occupy the Gaza Strip. They continue to bulldoze houses to try to get people to move away. They will occasionally even drop bombs, and they will have all kinds of prejudice policies that go against human rights and equality. Now, they justify this by saying that the Palestinians conduct suicide terrorism and attacks of their own which is partly true, but from my research, it appears that the Palestinians do these things because it is their only choice left to try to voice their opinion because they have been left without a voice. The final example I'll give you is Islamic radical terrorism. Islam is mostly a religion of peace. However, there are some radical components of Islam who choose to put their message out through violence and through the sword. In particular, we have the nation of Syria, which through civil war has totally fallen apart, and ISIS, which is a group that would like to create an Islamic state, an Islamic nation. They call it an Islamic caliphate. ISIS would like to create this caliphate in Syria and Iraq and spread it throughout the world. And they would like to do this with incredibly harsh and conservative rules, laws, and customs. Because of these rules, laws, and customs, many people have had to suffer under the rule of ISIS in Syria today. And the rest of the world has so far done very little in the way of trying to stop this, in part because we don't know, as a world population, what exactly to do. So, through those three examples, you can see that each of the three Abrahamic religions, Christianity, Judaism, and Muslims, or Islam, have done terrible things in the past and in the present and most likely in the future. Each of these religions can also do wonderful things, but hopefully this short verbal essay has shown you that each religion also has a capability of doing terrible things. My hope with this is not to teach you to dislike all three of these religions, but to be more empathetic of other religions and other points of view, because sometimes what may seem totally irrational to you may seem more rational and more logical to another group based on what they've been through and what they've experienced. Thank you for your time watching my essay.